Hello and welcome to your ninth R tutorial. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to create data frames in R. Very important lesson. Data frames are really at the heart of what R is all about, so pay attention. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to reproduce the same data set that I used in lesson number 2, but I'm going to write all the code within R itself. I'm not going to write it somewhere else and simply import it into R. Okay, so the first step is I'm going to create 4 vectors, and these 4 vectors are going to essentially be the columns of my original data set. If you remember, the first column of that original data set was a names column. So I'm going to create a vector called names, and in there I'm going to put the 4 names of the 4 people: Romeo, Juliet, Oscar, Sierra. I had a gender column, that was the second column. And let me do male, female, and you'll notice I'm just using the concatenate function, which I used in previous lessons. Occupation. The occupations were clown, magician, hobo, and unemployed. And notice that the order here is important. The first entry, each of these vectors all correspond to the same person. The second entry in all these vectors all correspond to the same person, and so on and so forth. Okay, I also lastly had a food vector. Whoops. And we had tuna, sausage, melons, and kimchi. Okay, so let me send this all to the console. Okay, now so far I really haven't done anything new. I've created 4 vectors. I've done that in previous lessons before. What's going to be new now is I'm going to use a new function that's going to combine these 4 vectors together into a data frame. So I need to name my data set. Last time I called it winners, and I'll go ahead and call it winners again. Now the name of this function is data.frame, and the arguments that I put inside are the vectors that I want to put into my data frame. So inside I put names, gender, occupation, food, and I'm going to send it to the console. And if you look on the upper right hand side, I have a data set called winners. Now notice that it's a little bit different. It's separated from those other 4 vectors that I created. Those are called values. Data is something a little bit different, and so in the workspace tab on the upper right hand side, it's displayed a little bit different as well. Let's check this data and make sure that we imported it right and it looks the way that we want. It looks like what we want it to do. The 2 ways to check, two of the ways that you can check it is first of all in RStudio. In RStudio, you can click the name winners here in the workspace tab, and it'll show you the data. And we'll take a quick look, and everything looks okay. Everything looks good, just like the data we inputted last time. Okay, and I'm going to go over here, and let me type winners. Control Enter, and when I look in the console, everything looks the same here too. Okay, so we successfully created a data set. You'll notice that it was very, very easy in R to once we had the vectors typed in, or if you import vectors, if that's what you needed to do. Making a data frame was very easy. It's just input the vectors, use the data frame function, boom, there it is. So I'll probably a quick lesson, but I'll just leave it there for now. I'll be talking a lot more about data frames later, and I'll see you guys next time.